Hey Exiles, PoE Academy here. Do you want to see raid boss minions annihilating anything that comes their way? Then look no further, Arakaali's Fang got you covered. There are a lot of build variants for using this dagger, and in this video you will learn what the build is all about, what the most common insanity options are, and which variant I use to smash all the endgame. Summoning spiders appears tedious at first until you internalize the rotation, which takes a little bit of practice. You need 3 things for this: an Arakaali's Fang dagger, a Riffing Joy flask, and Desecrate. First, you use Desecrate to spawn corpses, and you should link it to Spell Cascade to summon even more corpses. Second, you run a little bit towards the area filled with corpses and use your Riffing Jar flask to create 2 tiny worms. Third, you immediately kill them by using any skill gem that damages enemies around you, which usually summons 18 spiders at once. I prefer using Divine Ire to do so, but skills like Ice Nova, Shock Nova, or Vortex work as well. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and choose the minor god Rislafa in your pantheon. This will regenerate the flask charges of Riffing Jar during boss fights. Now that you know how to get the raid boss army moving, we can talk about different build variants. The most prominent contenders are Occultist, Necromancer, and Guardian. The Guardian version is ridiculously tanky. Almost 200k maximum physical hit taken is the highest number I've ever seen in this category. On top of that, you take advantage of CI and being block capped without glancing blows. However, the clear speed is worse than with the other alternatives. Necromancer reaches about 40k maximum hit taken for any damage type, which is much higher than most other builds aim for, and it is block capped too. The base damage of your spiders is decent, but this variant does not have the tools to push its clear to S tier. You can use more minions with this ascendancy than in other options if you prefer it, but for exceptional clear there's only Occultist. It provides a significant boost to the spider archetype and, most importantly, consistent explosions due to the Profane Bloom Ascendancy passive skill. Your spiders will wipe through packs in the blink of an eye, which is very spicy for doing all the challenging Scourge content. However, by going Occultist you are sacrificing some survivability. Maximum hit taken for physical damage is around 20k, but this is just enough to tank a Kosus hit in wave 20 Simulacrums. You also get less block chance than in the other build variants. I prefer playing Occultist in softcore as it is still tanky enough to survive 99% of what the game is throwing at you, but for hardcore the other 2 options appear to be better. What I really enjoy about this build is that it has a rather low entry cost to get into the endgame, while offering enough upgrades to really scale it into God tier. The baseline of this build cost me around 5x at the beginning of November or 2 weeks into Scorch League. The most expensive items were Arakaali's Fang for 2x and a glorious Vanity Timeless Jewel for 1x. All other items combined cost me 2x or about 250c. Oh, and by the way, at the time of recording this video, the dagger's price already dropped down to 40 chaos. Spiders have a very high base damage, so you don't need as much scaling as other builds do. They can't die, which means you don't have to invest into minion life either. The only drawback is that the damage is mostly scaled generically, which is another reason Occultist fits the skill so well. In case you didn't know, skills from items are supported by any support skill gems that you socket into the item. The sockets don't even have to be linked to each other, and for this specific build I recommend using Multi-Strike, Minion Damage, and Melee Splash. The build I'm playing also focuses on minion movement speed to make the spiders run around extremely fast. This makes the build very satisfying to play, as you can see in the footage. The build takes off right after equipping the dagger at level 53. By reaching level 85, you will have more than enough damage for all the old endgame. Afterwards, you can spend additional skill points for either damage or tankiness. The choice is yours. There are many useful unique items this build benefits from, and luckily they are all pretty cheap. You can check them out by using the PoB in the description. The build has 2 big chase items though. The first significant upgrade would be a Malevolence or Determination Alt's Uprising Amulet. Either version will give you access to Malevolence, which is straight up 20% more damage. The second item is the Squire Shield, a new unique item introduced in 3.16 Scourge League, which lets you support your spiders by another 3 support gems. This will more than double your damage. Please remember that this build is not a league starter. The dagger is quite expensive early on, but you might be able to swap from another minion build to raid boss spiders soon after league start. The data tells that the price of a single dagger decreases to below 1x 2 weeks into a new league. Unfortunately, there is no divination card to target farm the dagger, meaning that you must buy it. Due to this issue, I recommend playing this build as a second character. You can level it with all the juicy leveling items, and I find leveling it with explode skeletons very pleasant. Remember to ask any questions you might have in the comments down below or on my Discord server. Thanks for staying with me until the end, and see you in the next one.